Hello friends, EJ here from the back porch, and this is a video for my case knife friends. We've had a few of those videos. I've learned a lot through those videos. I've always been a fan of case knives, but never really been an expert. I'm still not an expert. In some of the previous videos, I've not always said exactly the right names of things and things like that, but you lovely followers and viewers have been quick to teach me the error of my ways, and for that I'm thankful. So I'll probably have some errors today too, but I just want to kind of show you some of the collection that I've got in the past couple months. Going to let you know what's in my roll, if you will, and show you some of my knives that, like I said, I've got this over in the past couple months. Before we get started, I'm a big fan of this book. If you're familiar with case knives at all, you're probably familiar with this book. It is technically a price guide, but if you are a case knife follower and a case knife friend, then you understand that the value of case knives is ever changing. So this is not necessarily a wonderful resource for price value. It is handy for that, but it is a wonderful resource for identifying knives and learning about it. If you read this, you're going to learn quite a bit about it. I mean, it's got all kinds of, you name it. I mean, different handles, different blades, different styles, examples of about everything. And it's a great resource. One of the reasons that I like it, if you... They're actually, and I use the Case Knife website. I've got it as a quick link on my phone that you can, you can click on that and get the tang stamp identification. Also the pattern numbers. There's a pattern number link. We'll share that on this video, so yeah, you can get that too. But some of those patterns are a little ambiguous, and I don't know everything. The more common ones I'm familiar with, so we're still learning. But case knife identification system, you can get that. Some people got the wallet card or whatever, but that'll kind of show you the different tang stamps that show you the different years and things like that. It's good to know because that is an indicator of value, of course, depending on what year they are. So enough of that. Let's open up this roll and see what's in here. This is technically not a roll, but again, these are knives that I've found in the past couple months, and I'll share some of my favorites with you. I've become kind of an indiscriminate case knife buyer, kind of looking at it as maybe an investment type thing. By the way, for any of you scoundrels out there, I keep all my knives in a safe right beside two rabid Rottweilers, so don't ever come to my house looking to get any knives. Because, anyway, so these are some pretty cool ones. All over the spectrum here. I don't know if I've got any 40 to 64s in here or not, but I've got several of the dots, the 70s dots. And this is actually the latest one that I've got. Here's another little tip. I really like these jeweler cleaner rags. Kind of keeps the bolsters and things clean, and you can wipe off the blade. This is a 10 dot. A 10 dot. Some people call it a Daddy Barlow or a Granddaddy Barlow. Been polished up real pretty, got some good, I think it's the original edge on it. I don't think anybody sharpened on it. Polishes up well. It's got a few scuffs on it. It's not perfect, but it's a pretty cool knife. You don't see them very often. And check out that worm groove. I think that's a worm groove. I'm not sure. I don't think that's any kind of defect. Maybe some of you, more learned people can tell you, but I just thought it was cool, and I had the opportunity to grab it, so I jumped on it. But cool little 10 dot, 1970 Daddy Barlow there. Below it is this Elephant Toe, 1976, I think. I think it's a 4 dot. Let's check. It is a 4 dot, so that makes it a 1976. Again, the way that works is the dots work backwards off the decade. So if it's a 1 dot, it's a 1979. If it's a 10 dot, it's a 1970. Now you can do the math, and this pretty cool elephant toe here. Some people call them elephant toe. Some people call them elephant toenail. I don't really know the exact nomenclature for that right off the top of my head. I could look that up. But they're pretty popular knives. Not really practical to carry, but beautiful red bone handle there. I don't know if that's technically red bone or what, but it's pretty cool piece. Glad to have that one in my collection. Always on the lookout for things like that. Pretty cool piece there. Wipe off my greasy handprints. Listen to that snap. Those are some of the older knives I've got, or at least, classic knives, we'll say. I also picked these two up. If you like newer knives, not really a fan, I just got the chance to buy them. And like I said, I've become an indiscriminate knife buyer. I guess technically that's the 3-blade Stockman. Little Peanut, they're of the same series. They're that white bone. Let me make sure they're double bone, or they're bone, because if they're not, somebody will tell me, but I'm pretty sure that's a bone. Yep, starts with a 6. If it starts with a 6, that's a bone. You probably already know that. Just a little bit about the pattern number. The first number is the handle or scale composition. So 6 will be bone, 5 will be stag. I'm not remember right off the top of my head about the other ones. The next number is how many blades it's got. So that one's 63, which means it's bone handled, and it's got 3 blades. See, 3 blades. And then the last 2 numbers or further are the pattern numbers. That's 18, Stockman, I believe. I may be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what's called a Stockman. Along with that is this little fella here. White bone handles with a pink shield. And that's 2000s, I believe. Pretty cool little piece. A case knife's a case knife, but some of them are cooler than others, but all of them are worthy of my rolls. I've got different rolls for different things. You kind of know how that goes. So, spoke earlier about Stag. It's a pretty cool piece. Stag handled Cheetah. I know there are a lot of Cheetah collectors out there. This is a pretty cool piece. A buddy of mine got it for me. I had to pay up for it, but it's a pretty cool piece. Stag handled Cheetah. A lot of people like Cheetahs just because they're a little different. A lot of people love that Stag handle because it's a little more exotic. This one is in original condition, never sharpened. I don't think it's carried. I'm not sure if that little mark there is a defect or a crack in the handle, but nonetheless, I'm glad to have it in my collection. It's got a pretty good look to it. There's not a lot of, it's also a lockback, which means that it won't come closed on your hand unless you push the button. Pretty cool piece right there, Stag handled Cheetah. Got another pretty cool Stag handle the other day. For you Canoe fans, it's a Stag handled Canoe. I can't remember how many dots it's got. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're kind of hard to see, the Canoes are, but I think it's a 10 dot. Couldn't swear to it. I'd have to look a little bit closer with maybe an optic of sorts. Never sharpened, never carried. Pretty cool piece right there. Got a little bit of blade rub on the back, but it's okay. Stag handle Canoe, pretty cool piece, 1970. Now, it'd be real easy to think that both of these are Stag, because they look a lot alike. If you're not a case follower, if you don't follow them very closely, but this one is Stag, and this one's just kind of natural bone, I believe is what the name of it is. That's a pretty cool piece. It's a Hawkbill, named after the shape of the hawk. This is actually a stainless steel blade. Pretty modern, 2000s. Could use a little bit of cleaning up. Natural bone hawk there. A lot of farmers used to carry these for several reasons. Said they could reach around and cut the twine off of a bell. I've also heard that some of the rougher people in the community would carry these because they will, quote, reach out and get you. I don't know exactly what that means, but I'm certain I don't want to be reached out and got. So, Hawkbill there, natural bone, pretty cool piece. Here's kind of a green bone. More modern knife. That's the Lightning S, which would put it into the 80s, if I do remember correctly. Pretty cool piece there. Stockman, I believe. Here's a doll for you Canoes. I think this is what some of those guys on the old interweb call a smoker. I'm proud to have this one in my collection. Needs a little grease. I'm afraid to cut my hand, but anyway, beautiful 10-dot Canoe. Just absolutely just about as good as you can get. If you like Canoes and you like that 10-dot, that's good in there. Copperhead people out there, Lightning S with 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 1981. Copperhead. Let's see. There's another Canoe. Natural bone Canoe. Pretty cool piece. 2000s. Never carried or sharpened. Has a good look to it. If you like canoes, then you'd probably like that one. I like it. And I guess since it's kind of in my collection, that's really all that matters. Here's a pretty hot knife right now. Everybody wants a Kickstart. It's kind of a folding hunter, I guess. Maybe it's just a folding hunter with a clip. I'm not exactly sure, but I've heard people talk about Kickstarts that have that clip on the back. It's a pretty cool looking piece. Got a lot of shine to it. Folding hunter with a clip. 61 265 LC, which maybe the LC means clip. Got a good look to it. I came across these knives. I do believe this is the whole collection of this series. It is I don't know if that's Appaloosa bone, or I don't think so. I think it's just a gray bone, but it's got that red, white, and blue shield in it. And I've got several of these, and I think it's the whole collection. If somebody's out there that knows a little bit more than I do about what comprises of a whole collection, it's my understanding that different collections have different amounts of knives, but I think this is it. Got the Toothpick there. I can't remember the name of that one. Got the Baby Butterbean, Russlock, Trapper, pen knife or doctor's knife, I guess. Full-size Stockman. I always like the Russlocks because they've got this kind of little, I guess, ear on the blades. Just got a good look to it, and they do lock open. So for a carrier, if you wanted to carry, of course, that being a collectible knife, I probably wouldn't carry it, but be handy so it doesn't close on your hand. You got to kind of push this over to close it a little bit. Pretty cool piece there, Russlock. I hear a lot of people say, we get a lot of feedback on our YouTube channel, and I've heard a lot of people talk about how case knives are overpriced and they're better knives for the money and things like that. And you know what? I get that, but it's kind of like about anything. Good pieces will always be worth good money. In my experience in this line of work at the Back Porch Antiques, and even before that, in my experience in collecting and buying and selling antiques and buying and selling collectibles. Again, I've offered this piece of information, this piece of advice several different times. If you're going into collecting and you're in it for the long haul, you're in it for the investment, buy the best that you can afford, because the best will always be worth money. Even if the market falls off, even if that particular item is not as collectible as it used to be, my advice for you is to buy the best that you can afford, because the good stuff will always be good. So that's kind of my thought on case knives, is that case knives will always be good. They don't necessarily sell well or value well because they are the best approach at cutlery. There are better knives for the money, but there's something about a case knife that makes it collectible. And I'm going to go out on a limb and think it's about the tradition. It's about the way that things were made back in the day, and it's about all the old timers that you remember when you were a child that carried a case knife, or maybe your granddad gave you a case knife. Every piece has a memory, and case knives are much more than just a knife. So that's really all I've got today. I hope you've enjoyed my collection. These are, again, a few that I've bought here in the last few weeks. And always on the lookout. If you got some to sell, give me a shout. I'd be glad to talk to you about it. Anyway, EJ from the Back Porch, and we'll catch you next time.